Welcome to the channel. This is Go Gretty and welcome to the 2022 Gran Turismo World Series Manufacturers Cup round number 4. We are at the high speed ring and we're in the group 4 cars, and check out the hot new livery on my McLaren made by Kaboom Operator. You can check them out on YouTube if you want to know how to make a livery like that. And if you want to watch a pretty good end to a race, stick around and check this out. All right, if we look at the points real quick right here, old Gretty's looking to beat 265, so that's the goal for today. Lobby opens up, and I am door number 6, so outstanding. I'm in the second or maybe third split, who knows, but at least I'm not in the top split. Now, important here on qualifying, I'm heading out on the intermediate wet tires. Look at the rain meter there. If the track wetness gauge shows it's in that first third of that meter, you are fine to be on racing hards, but if it moves up into that second third, you need to be on intermediates. Into that top third, you really need to be on wets. Now, as you can see here, I made a mistake. Crossed the pit line on the way out of the pits. Wasn't really paying attention. My mind was not in the right place. Now, not a big deal. It's my out lap, but it actually turns out to be kind of a big deal, as you'll see here in just a moment. I crossed through the penalty line area. I'm bleeding off the time. And I'm like, oh goodness, I had a nice gap here that I was in. I want to be in a nice empty space to set this hot lap. I've done plenty of laps here at the high speed ring in the rain. I'm waiting for it. Now I've got to deal with a BMW that has now sent it past me, but he goes wide. He actually even hits the wall right here. So now I've got to deal with him, and instead of having an open, clean track to deal with, now I've got to worry about P3. And it's not his fault. Actually, it's my fault. Now, if I'd have seen I was coming up quickly on a guy who was doing the penalty, I probably would have backed off and let him get a little further out in front, create a gap between the two cars. But unfortunately, that did not happen. So now I've got the BMW right behind me. And, you know, in the rain, you're always concerned with getting hit from behind on a lap or something like that happening. So I was very concerned about that as we're coming through these sections. You know, is he going to send it? Is he going to try and get by? As you can see, he's catching me here as we're coming out of that corner. He's got a little bit of slipstream. And I'm like, I hope he does not send it down the inside, because this is when the track is the driest. You know, you want to be setting your hottest lap right here. As you can see, the rain meter on the left side just getting to that top of that 1/3 mark. A little too much for hards. So I made the right choice. I'm out here on the intermediates, but I made that crucial mistake of having that penalty as coming out. And apparently he had a penalty too for hitting the wall, so he falls back. And then now I got to see what kind of lap did I put down. Did I put down a good enough time to put myself towards the front of the track and have a good starting position? Or was this last corner that was a little bit sloppy not going to be enough to put me up towards the front? Crossed the line with a 1:18.734. Pretty good lap, but I know I can do better, so stay out. Try to drop in another hot lap here before the rain gets too heavy. Get a nice line around that outside grippy green stuff, heading towards corner number 3. Gonna get on the brakes here just before the 50 board at the start of the green. Gonna try and backside this corner, get on the backside, get the car straightened out as much as possible before I get onto the gas, and then gonna sling it back to the left here. Probably turned in a hair too early there. I could have got on the gas early and held the power all the way through the corner. As it was, come out just missing the wall. Fast forward here onto the last corner, very important corner. I just lift just a little bit because in the wet, you couldn't quite go full throttle through this corner, so I lift a little bit and I roll that power back in when I feel the grip is there. Power out of the corner, head down the straight, cross the line, 1:18.484. That puts me in Q3, so pretty happy with that, starting up front, hopefully out of all that mid-pack mayhem. So hey, let's get one more look at that hot new livery. Look at there. Oh great, he's got a professional looking livery for a change. Someone else made it, that's why. So good job, Kaboom, appreciate it. Beautiful livery, he did a great job. You should see the GR3 livery. It is really good looking. Not too different from this one, but man, I'll tell you what, it just looks super good. So again, appreciate that, Kaboom Operator. Go check out his YouTube. All right, now looking here at the tire selection, I decided to go with the heavy wets. Now, the rain is not heavy enough right now, but if it gets heavy enough, I do not want to be stuck on the McLaren on the intermediate tires, because in this area right here, it would just spin out if they've got too much water on the track. It would just hydroplane so easy. So I couldn't take the chance of being out on the intermediate tires if the rain got too heavy. The pit stop's about 30 seconds. There is no way I'm going to get in the pit and make up that kind of time with only an 18-lap race. So started on the heavy wets. Now going into corner number 2, and there's an incident up front. P1 gets hit from the side into the wall. What happened up front? Well, let's take another look at it as they head into the corner. The GTR kind of takes a weird line there. Now, the racing line's kind of along the outside. The Atenza did kind of, I guess, bomb the inside, but, I mean, it wasn't terrible. It looked like the GTR actually tried to turn in too late to block the move or something. Don't know. It was an odd situation because there was plenty of space there. So, really weird occurrence there in P1, P2, but I'm not crying about it because that puts me one spot closer to first place. So I'm pretty darn happy with that. And I've got this Atenza in front of me. Now the Atenza, we all know, very strong car here on GT7. And the McLaren is definitely no slouch here at the high-speed ring. So I'm just going to pay attention to the track, what's going on, see if I can't run down this Atenza, see if I can't find out where the McLaren may or may not be faster than, and see if I can come up with a game plan. As you can see right here, coming out of the last corner, I was about 0.8 down, and watch the McLaren just eat up the Atenza coming down the straight. The reason for that is I'm getting a little better rotation in that final corner, able to get on the power a little earlier, I think, than the Atenza or the Atenza driver was able to do so. Now, as we come down through these sections, he's able to pull out on me a little bit so he can get the power down earlier with that all-wheel drive car. I'm wanting to kind of spin out as I'm trying to get on the gas early. I'm feeling for it. You can see me working that throttle, just waiting for that traction to build up just enough to where I can just lay that throttle down and really power out of the corners, pushing all the way here out to the wall. So fast forward again onto that last corner on lap number 5. Same old story. I'm coming out of the corner, able to catch him here on that final corner. And now instead of passing him, what I'm doing is I'm bump drafting him in towards turn number 2. And what that's allowing me to do is pull away from the guys behind me. I got devil dog 2.5 seconds back, and I'd like him to stay there. And after what I saw on in turn 2 of the race, I really didn't want to be in front of him. Lap 6, same thing. Give him a bump draft here. Heading down towards turn 2, just back off, get on the brakes, lay it down through the corner. Continue to build that gap. Now it's up to 3 seconds here on lap number 6. Trying to play the long game. Plus, it's an all-wheel drive car. I know its tires are going to suffer a little harder. Now, as you can see, as we come through this last corner, you can see the wetness of the track building as we go through the corner. That's where these heavy wets are really kind of helping out here. Now, I'm almost nearly 100% positive, and it turned out I was correct that the car in front of me here was also on the heavy wets. On to lap number 9. It's more of the same, lap after lap, just trying to gap the people behind me, trying to catch the people in front. And I make a move to look at the radar. I'm looking at the radar. I'm seeing, what is it doing there? And then I realize I brake a second late, get too close to the wall, and just tap the rear bumper on the wall. It was a very light tap. I get a 1.5 second penalty. I'm like, what? This is not what I needed. I was screwing around the radar. Now look at this. I've got a 4.2 second gap to Sloth behind me. I've got a less than a second gap to the Atenza in front of me. Now we're heading into the penalty zone, which is in the tunnel, and watch what is going to happen. This 1.5 seconds feels like an absolute eternity. So I come out of here and I'm like, oh, come on, McLaren, come on, accelerate. The gap is just dropping and dropping. The gap in front is just building and building. Now you carry the speed all the way through this corner as it goes all the way from 4 seconds down to 1.5 seconds as I come out the other side. All the way down to 1.4 now. Guy in front picks up all the way to the force. That 1.5 second for tapping the wall turns into a 3 second penalty at the halfway point in the race. But all I can do is put my head down, keep pushing forward. Now here's something new I didn't know about. So warning to everyone here, this is a lapped car, and this freaked me out. It wasn't ghosting. I was like, why is the car not ghosting? Is it supposed to ghost? Can I drive through it? Can I not drive through it? I didn't know. But as I got really close and was like, no, it is not going to ghost. I think he's on hard tires here or something. Maybe intermediates. I don't know. But I can't get through him here. And now behind me, Sloth is really catching up to me. I'm behind this unghosted lapped car on lap number 15. And it just eats up even more of the little bit of gap I had remaining with just a few laps to go. On to lap number 17. Schmacked Sloth running me down. He is well within the slip, within 0.2. Now pay attention here as we go into the final corner. He breaks a little early, then goes down on the inside line, and he actually begins to make up the gap to me there. As you can see it dropping from 0.4 down to 0.2 and further down. I'm in the slipstream of the Atenza in front of me. He is doing the mini snake here as we're going along. He's trying to break the slipstream. That never works. But anyway, you got to try. I don't blame him. The McLaren here actually gives me a little bump from behind. I think he's thinking, well, maybe I can get P1 if I give Grady a little bump here. And we catch up to P1, which actually helped out. And we actually begin to run down P1. So Sloth with the bump draft on the straight, running down the Atenza here. And go down into corner number 2. He has a wide corner. I kind of peek down the inside there. I'm like, I don't quite have enough power to power up the corner. And I'm thinking inside send here on turn number 3 to try and get in front of the Atenza. And as I look down the inside, I just can't quite get the grip to make it. I'm feeling for the grip, just trying to get enough. Come out the other end, get another tap. Now the McLaren looks down the inside of me, which caused me to kind of tighten my turn in there and cut it off. So it slows down my exits. We come down here towards the last and final few turns. We're at the penultimate turn here. Before the final turn, McLaren put pressure on me to the inside. I'm trying to figure out a way around the Atenza. I'm in a strange spot, but I turned in tight here because I remembered what he did and broke early. Then I get on the gas early, and as I'm coming out the other side, the rear end gets really wiggly on me, and I let off the gas, and that's enough to allow the McLaren to get to the outside of me to come around through the last quarter, coming down the straight. He blows on by me on the outside, crosses the line. He takes P2. I drop back to P3. Oh, what a race. Not the ending I wanted, but still a great race. Man, if I hadn't had that penalty, my goodness, what could have happened? I may have had my first win, but it was for naught. I did land on the podium, though. Take that 3rd place. I'll take my 289 points, I believe it was, and I'll put them in the bank. So hope you enjoyed the race. Hope you enjoyed all the action. If you did, hit the like and or subscribe. Come back and check out some more. For myself, Go Grady. Y'all have a great evening. DJ Clean, take us out of here.